Hello everyone, and welcome to the first class of IoT protocols. I am Geekroid from geekroid.com, and today's class will be talking about MQTT, or as it's mentioned, MQ transient transfer. As we said in the introduction, it's a publish subscribe protocol, and we need to have two things: a client tool and a broker. Now, what is a client tool and what is a broker? Based on Hive MQ blog, we have the best 7 MQTT client tool. So we'll start up with MQTT Fix, followed by MQTT Spy, MQTT Inspector, My MQTT, and Hive MQ, MQTT Lens, and lastly Mosquito tools. So these tools has two main functionality: publish something to a topic and subscribe to a certain topic. Now what they usually does is the following: they keep a track of all the messages and save it in a database so you can refer to all of them. But this database, some of them has it permanent, some of them has it temporary. Now since I'm using MQTT Fix, will be the tool that I will be explaining because it works with Linux. Other tools work the same, nothing different except the interface. Now we know the tool that publish and subscribe, but who handle this publishing and subscribe? Then comes our next tool, which is the broker. The broker, what it does, it handle who publish what and then which subscriber will receive this message. So we have two things: a public broker and a local broker. Now a public broker is the following: these are the ones are available on the internet, free to use, by MOXD.io. That's the blog that mentioned the public MQTT broker. Starting with ioteclipse.org, it's a Mosquito broker. Now we will be using the port 1883, and followed by Hive MQ broker, and there's another one by Mosquito, one by Mosca, and the last one is by Hive MQ. Now I tried a couple of these and they're working pretty good. Now let's go to the local broker. Let's say I have my own server and I want to install a broker on. Which one should I use? Now you can purchase the Mosquito and Hive MQ broker locally and download it and set it up, but there are free ones by Paho, the broker, and we need to have Ponte for debugging. Now what is debugging? It's basically getting to know who sent what or who subscribed to which topic. This is an example. I'll come back to it in a moment. Now there are two main things we have to take care of. One is called quality of service, which is marked by 0, 1, and 2, and the other one is retained. Now starting with quality of service. Quality of service 0, it means I'll send a message regardless who get it or not. I don't have to check if he received it or not. Quality of service 1 is an average checking. Quality of service 2, we usually use it for a very important message where we have to make sure that the receiver get the message. So once we send the message, we have to wait for a reply back saying that I received the message. Now for retained, it's two states, either true or false. What it does, if it retained is true, it means save the last message to the server. So whoever connect or subscribe to this topic will get the last message if there is nothing new sent. If it's false, means don't save any message that I sent. Now, one more thing, it's called a will. Will message is what we send before the object or the sensor or whatever publishing data dies. So let's assume we have a sensor in a desert sending temperature or whatever, moisture, anything, and it's like a huge amount of time to go there and check it by ourselves. So and this sensor has almost 10% of battery. If it dies once it reaches 2%, it will send its will message and then the battery dies. Now our main thingy is the topic. The topic is the like as its name says, a topic where you publish something to this topic or you subscribe to this topic. Okay, let's go to an example. I'm using here MQTT fix. Now there are a couple of topics here that already used by default, so one thing to take in consideration, make sure that your topic is different from others. So like system, test, and this stuff, people mostly use it. So here I'll send something to, let's pick a topic, banana Geekroid, and I'll send here hey. Quality of service, I'll choose 1. Medium, retained, it means keep it on the server. Now let's send hey. Come here, banana. Make sure it's case sensitive, so let's double check. Yeah, small. It's better to copy this, subscribe to the topic, and then boom, we have hey. That is sent already. Okay, let's send another one. Hi. Publish. On the other hand, we got hey, the first message, hi. But this is a temporary database. Once I disconnect, I lose the messages. Okay, so let's try something that without case sensitive. Change this G to that, and then subscribe. Without changing this or subscribing, it's the same topic, but the G changes from small to capital, and then we publish something. Now it will not work. Okay, so how about overwriting things? Now, when we says it saved the last retained message, it means that if I send 3 consecutive messages, only the last one will be saved. So let's give it a try. Let's go for demo Geekroid and send 1, quality of service 1, retain, publish. Now let's send 2, publish, and send 3, publish. Now here let's copy this and then subscribe to it, see what we got. Subscribe. Now for demo Geekroid, here we have the last message, which is number 3. Now the good thing about this is whoever published don't know who is subscribed to it, and whoever subscriber doesn't know who's publishing things. The broker keep it anonymous. Now there are one bad thing. Let's say if someone is spamming. Okay, so let's go here and check like a topic called sys. Topic called sys. Can anyone access it? Okay, let's try test. Test, we don't know who's sending what. Okay, so this is someone like me tried to access a topic called test. Now you are on your own. We don't know who sent this. Let's override this by publishing something to test. It has been written by Geekroid and publish. So now whoever goes to test, it has been overwritten by Geekroid. Okay, now this is sending a plain message. How about sending a JSON object? Now for those who don't know what JSON is, it's a JavaScript object notation, because we will be using these terminology in the course. Now a JSON object looks something like this. Okay, let's try sensor Geekroid as our topic and assume it's a temperature sensor. So we'll write this sensor name and 2 dots, here my temp, comma, let's write here temp and it's 50, and location, and let's say Cairo. Okay, now let's send this. One last thing, the JSON object need to have these as strings and these between quotes. But you got the idea. It's like you can send any string in that. Okay, so publish. Now let's go subscribe to sensor Geekroid and let's go. What do we have here? Sensor Geekroid, sensor name, my temperature, temperature 50, location is Cairo. How about if the temperature changes and drops to 25? Publish. Now the good thing is if I got the message, I can handle it. But what if I lost the message and I didn't have it? So usually a good practice to keep the retained message up, the retained flags up, so where you can actually save the lost message and handle it later on. Now, a good practice to keep your topics not easy to be guessed. So let's try system. See how it looks. System. Subscribe. And okay, no one sent something to system. Okay, let's try local. No one sent to local. That's good. So keep always a good practice to keep your topics not unguessable, but you can use it for your own. So something like censor and let's say your name, Alex, Ahmed, whatever. And also one thing is that if I have 100 censors, they can be all publishing with their name, assuming that this is a unique name. Let's have another one called my pressure. It's the same, but notice one thing. If I hit publish, it will overwrite. Let's go here and unsubscribe to this. I'm pretty sure that it will handle I'll get back the database since it's database temporary. Let's go ahead and hit disconnect. Reconnect to it and then go to publish and publish a new temperature sensor. Make sure the thing is we didn't check if it's the same topic or not. So for sensor Geekroid, we sent the temperature first. Now we are sending the pressure on the same topic. We won't get both readings, we'll only get the last one. Now since I said it's a temporary database, so it keeps the thing, it keeps the previous messages. But usually what it does, it replaces the last message. So let's go ahead and hit Geekroid 2, send my pressure, and then change it to my temp, whatever, and then hit publish. Now once we subscribe to it, what we will only get is the last message, because we says it's retained. Now here Geekroid 2 topic, we have one message, it says my temp. What about my pressure? It's gone. You have no control over it. Okay, so a good way to handle this is you keep saving in an internal database on the client side. So now, since it's a beginner course, we will not be teaching how to handle this or any coding mechanism to handle it. We'll just playing around with the protocols, see how they works. Any explanations, any project ideas will be here. Now, in an advanced course or some intermediate course, we will dig a bit deeper, see how we code this in various programming languages. Usually what we do is we code the server or the broker in any server language, a PHP or Node.js or any language. And this will be the one who is publishing data or receiving data, or the server side, as you wish. But usually the broker, we install Paho to handle this thing. So Paho will be installed locally or on a server, will have an IP and a port you just send, and both of your sides, either a sensor and a server or anything, will be connected to Paho itself. So the sensor will be publishing data and the server will be receiving data. So the server will act as a client, subscribe to the sensor, waiting for it to publish data, and the sensor will be connected. Everything will go through Paho. So the sensor will send my temperature is 25, and on whatever PHP, Node.js or any other programming languages will handle the other side, will be subscribed to this my temp or whatever we call it. Let's call it here as we call it Geekroid, sensor Geekroid 2. Will be subscribed to all the messages from sensor Geekroid 2, and it will be processing them on the local side and the internal structure. You don't have to worry about it. It's just sending a plain text. Now you can send this message. Let's say there is a hacker or someone spamming us or listening to our topics. So we can send it encrypted. Let's say we'll send it base 64 encrypted, or we'll send it hexadecimal. So you can send any string in any format, there's no constraints, or you can send objects just like this, JSON object, but try to keep it simple. Like the sensor will do the calculations on its side and send the final result. You don't have to do the calculation on the server side, and vice versa. The server will handle everything and just send a clear text or a plain message or some encrypted base 64, for example, to the sensor, so that the processing will be easier, and also the packet itself will not be as big as you can imagine. Because sometimes if those brokers are down and you lose your message, it's gonna be an issue unless it's not that important. Now, as I mentioned, quality of service 0, 1, and 2. For quality of service 0, it doesn't check if you received the message. Quality of service 1, it's a medium, like that's what is used in most cases. Quality of service 2, it makes sure that you receive the message by sending a message, then did you receive it? And you have to reply that yeah, I received it. And it's rarely used unless it's a very, very important message that you have to worry about that the other side receive it. A good practice also keep it quality of service 1 unless it's an official project that you're working with sensors all over the place, all over the country, and you don't have to go to each one, check that they received the message. Make sure it's a quality of service 2 by that. So basically, yeah, that's it for the MQTT section. That's how it works. That's basically the tools you will need, the brief idea of how it goes. If you still have any questions, feel free to drop a comment and I will reply to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much. See you in next class.